author, and she worked hard at testing recipes and marketing or getting her books out there, and they've just been selling for 25 years now like crazy. And now this business is mine, and I want to take it to the next level. We don't have a website. We do have a trademark on the series, so there is that intellectual property there.
Right.
One mistake that we made along the way was, even though this is a series of cookbooks, they don't all have necessarily the same trim size or the same look. So one thing I'm working on this year is getting that look so that it looks like a series. We don't have a website, so that's another thing I'm working on. But I'm just I think my biggest question is, my mom tried to wear all the hats, and you can't do that in a business. And so I'm realizing that I need to reach out and pull in some help if I want to grow this to the next level. I'm just not sure how to do that.
All right, Danny?
Yeah, well, you could use a business coach, obviously, Linda. It sounds like you may have enough profitability in this business that you don't need money to build the website. Is that true, or are you looking for money also?
I'm not looking for, no, I'm not looking. We've got plenty of capital.
Good. So you're looking for brand recognizability, which
I know,
is
it's a nice problem to have. In
right, exactly. Huh? Yeah, and having the consistency, I understand from a self-publisher, from a publishing standpoint, my publishers want all the covers of my books to look the same so that you can kind of build that brand cohesiveness. So I kind of understand where you're coming from there. What I would do is join groups online that can help you with different components of this. You're going to need to find talent. We used to do it with Monster, but there's much less expensive places to do it, like Hot Jobs Finder out there right now. I would check out places like Club E-Factory, where entrepreneurs get together, and there's people there who do cookbooks and can actually give you advice on specific areas. I would check out Club E-Network, and I would check out entrepreneur.com and go to the section that's specific to what you're actually working on. See if you can network with people in your area, get resources together. You may have to hire on some staff, but I would do it slowly and really try to figure out what specific niche you want them to fill before you do it.
Yeah, you guys.
What about finding people, basically salespeople who might pursue different markets with our brand and our trademark? I'm thinking about such things as when I watch all these infomercials and they're selling either exercise equipment or cooking equipment, and how great it would be to have our brand with a DVD with recipes that would go with that. But finding somebody to market that for me. I'm not a salesperson, so finding someone to, how would I go about doing that?
Well, actually, the way into a lot of these DVD infomercial type companies is actually through marketing firms that have contacts with these and established relationships with these organizations. That's something that we've been working on ourselves, actually. And so I would look for a marketing firm in your area that has contacts with these specific. You can just flat out ask them, do you have contacts for, and then what you're talking about. Some of the big guys, like the Gunther Runkers and so on that you're talking about that do the infomercials. I would look to see who has partnerships with those companies, figure out what you could package and sell. It might be a cookbook along with the DVD, and then you're taking that to market, and then you're negotiating the heck out of the price of the advertisements and going from there. But you're going to need a partner to do that, because getting in the door to these big companies is next to impossible on your own. You need the in.
Yeah, and I want to hear from Allie too, and Mark. Go ahead, John.
Absolutely. I mean, the infomercial game is a big business right now. One of the big players of it is in Seattle. I've done business with them. I forget their name. I'm sorry. They did Sonicare and a lot of the big ones. You can sell product there. I think you have a very high-class problem, Linda. First of all, you have something that sold 25 million copies. That's a great place to start. Self-publishing today gives you huge margins. You just need to find a way to get the distribution and the marketing done. You're so successful at what you're doing, I'd be careful not to take that brand too far away from what you've been successful at, because your customers love you for what you've brought them. You can make it consistent, you can lower the cost, you can get better distribution, and distribution help from guys like our friends at entrepreneur.com. But basically, this is a great situation.
Mark, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I'd like to point out two things. Number one, what the caller didn't make clear, and I think what you'll want to think about rather than a deep discussion now, is what are your skill sets? You've inherited this from your mom. Your mom obviously had the skill sets to build it to where it is today. I think you need to figure out what your skill sets are and how you're going to complement those. I mean, ever the technologist myself, I'm always thinking, what's the technical angle? Books are moving to a world in which they're being distributed by Kindles, the Amazon Kindle. There's a lot of transformation in this market, and you've acknowledged you don't have a website, and yet so much now is happening on the web. I want to point out a company to the caller. It's called Equal, E-Q-A-L. What Equal is it's a group that actually helps people who want to create websites reach audiences in new ways. The guys behind Equal are the guys who are behind Lonely Girl 15, if anyone remembers that. It was a big popular series on YouTube. And they're actually specifically working with people in the cooking sector and helping them blow up by creating a multi-channel offering. And specifically, they've also done a book deal where they're helping integrate people who have books. And when people read the physical books, then they're driving you to a website and helping you integrate those two things. So something you may want to check out.
And Allie, anything you can draw from your experience?
I can. I mean, it is a high-class problem to have success and figure out what to do with it. But one of the things I didn't hear you say that I think is really important to think about before you race out thinking of the things you could collateralize off of the book concept is figure out what the asset is that has worked. Is it the content? Do you have the best recipes? Is it the voice and how it was communicated, that your mother just sort of had it resonated with a certain following? Which part of it made it work? And then start there and say, how do you collateralize that? Because I think I get a little nervous when I hear people saying, well, everything we've done has worked, so we're just going to go after new sales channels. And what you'll end up doing is developing some things that just don't sell. and you really need to go back to the beginning and say, what's the basic asset I have? Where do I think I solved a problem? And is there derivative opportunities around that will be logical for me to take?
Exactly
And with her mother's passing, making sure you're preserving what made it successful in the first place.
Yeah, because you run a risk right now of moving away from where you were. It's a huge opportunity. You'd probably be crazy not to think about it, but you better understand why you got where you got first. And that's a critical first step.
I think that Allie completely nailed it. I would just add one comment, which is the future of publishing looks a lot different than the past world of publishing. So be careful about, you want to identify the assets that worked, like Ali said, but you have to figure out how those apply to the future.
Yep.
And no doubt a cautionary tale for family businesses out there to sort of plan for the future when you're handing off.
Not cautionary. Opportunity.
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 There we go.
Right? The good. The glass half full, not the glass half empty. Come on, man.
It's half full. You just got to be ready.
I know. Keep the calls coming, everybody. 877-249-9626.
Or your money at foxbusiness.com. This is the Fox Business Network, the only business network with Saturday hours.
That's right. Stay with us. Welcome back. We can't stop talking. We're talking about business in the break, but we're here to answer people's questions.
We're here to listen to you, too.
And listen to our caller. Stan is on the line from Ohio. Stan, go ahead. What do you want to know?
Hello, panel. I watch Fox's Your Questions, Your Money very regularly, and I love the insight and information, so thanks. Here's my question. 8 years ago, I applied for and received a provisional patent for an intangible item, and the project went by the wayside, but now it's on our front burner. My question is, can I reapply for a second provisional patent on the same item 8 years later, or if not, what might you recommend, Danny Bath? This is Stan Pope.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that the time period you have is 5 years, so after 5 years you have a clean slate, if my understanding. So go for it. Get another 1 year provisional patent for cheap, USPTO.gov, and now you already know how to do it. It's actually easier than it was 8 years ago, and not really much more money. So, yep, you can.
That'd be great. I hope to be back on your show in a couple of months with a product that'll knock your socks off.
That sounds wonderful.
And you are welcome.
Okay.
To come back, Stan, so keep us posted on that.
He's got the enthusiasm part down.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Let's get to another question. Heidi is on the line from Maryland. Heidi, go ahead. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. I'm calling because my family has had a company for a little over 80 years. And part of the company which they stopped using was a soda factory. And the equipment was updated 60 years ago. And now that I've kind of